Hello and welcome in your practice. Today we'll be starting on our backs in Shavasana. So please come and lay down. Bring your feet to the corners of your yoga mat. Your arms are next to your body. And you can either turn the palms down for a greater sense of groundedness or turn the palms upwards for a sense of receiving and lightness. Your eyes are closed and you're starting to bring all of your attention into this present moment. Meet me at the bottom of your next exhale for 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. The next time you breathe yourself empty, begin to draw in a fresh and deep inhale. Inhaling through your nose, filling up your belly, filling up your lungs, inhaling all the way up to the collarbones into a sense of expansion and spaciousness. Stop at the top for a brief moment. Rest in stillness. And then sigh out through your mouth. Let go. One more, just like that. Deep, deep, deep breath in. Now I invite you to squeeze your hands and toes into little fists. Hold. Let go. One more deep inhale. Squeezing, now maybe even lifting the hands and the feet off the ground. Hold. Let go and release. Remind to yourself, I am right here, right now. Right here, right now. There is nowhere else I need to be. Here is good. There is nothing else I should be doing right now other than spending quality time with myself, listening to the whispers of my body as I slowly move between the postures. Often we hear the sounds or the voice of the body only when it gets really loud, when you get sick, when a pain appears. Can you train yourself to listen to those quiet voices, little whispers that do not scream for help, but want to have a genuine conversation with yourself? Our first posture today is Bananasana. I invite you to bend your knees, lift your hips up, and gently move your hips over to the left side. Extend your legs towards the right bottom corner of your yoga mat. Lift the torso, move it a little bit more to the right, and extend the arms overhead, letting your right hand gently hold your left wrist. Your eyes are closed, and you're beginning your dialogue with yourself. The topic for today's practice is self-forgiveness. I know from my own experience that I can have more patience and I can show more grace to others than to myself. The popular saying says that we are our own harshest critics. What forgiveness needs is compassion. So can you be compassionate with yourself as we explore different topics through our affirmations? If you wish to go deeper into the pose, you can cross your left ankle over your right ankle, increasing the sensations in the area of your left outer hip. Our first affirmation for today is, I release judgment and embrace self-compassion. I forgive myself for any perceived shortcomings. I release judgment and embrace self-compassion. I forgive myself for any perceived shortcoming. I forgive myself for any perceived shortcomings. It happens that we sometimes forget that we are human, and what is a part of human experience is making mistakes and learning. As children, we make mistakes as we learn to talk or do things to function in the world. And just because we're adults, it does not mean that we are perfect and we will never make mistakes. And when we do, something is wrong with us. Any shortcomings, any mistakes you may have made as an adult, perhaps recently. Can you have compassion for yourself, for that version of yourself you were as you were going through that situation? Can you have compassion to yourself and forgive yourself for learning, for being human? While you are alive, you will be a human. There is no specific age where you transcend to a superhuman state. So can you accept that? Can you accept that and the fact that you will make mistakes? And you will find yourself in situations where you will wish that you would have known better or done things differently. And that is fine. Can you bring warm acceptance to that? With your inhale, slowly come to the center. Bend your knees, and we'll transition to the other side. Move your hips over to the right, legs to the left corner of the mat. Right ankle next to the left ankle, arms extended to the left side, left hand holding right wrist. Breathing into your right side body. Repeating in your mind, I release judgment and embrace self-compassion. I forgive myself for any perceived shortcomings. If there is a mistake you've made or a shortcoming you're noticing, and it's difficult to have compassion for yourself, imagine that you're not trying to have compassion for yourself, but for another person. Your best friend, your sibling, somebody you love, maybe your child. How much compassion can you have for them? And can that inspire you to have more compassion for yourself? If you wish to go deeper, you can cross your right ankle over your left ankle. Taking one last deep inhale. Exhaling through the mouth. And gently moving back to the center. Good. You can bend your knees. Do a couple of windshield wipers where you let your knees fall to one side and then the other. And then you slowly roll onto your right body side. And from there, come into a seated position. You will need your bolster for our next pose, the butterfly. And we're going to take a wider variation of that. So you're creating a diamond shape. Please take your bolster. Place it between your thighs and on top of your feet. With your exhale, round your back and slowly release your head down. Close your eyes. Again, tuning into that internal dialogue with yourself. Our second affirmation for today is, I let go of my past and embrace the present moment. I forgive myself for any mistakes and trust in my journey. I let go of the past and embrace the present moment. I forgive myself for any mistakes and trust in my journey. So we spoke about making mistakes before. Now I would like to invite you to think about moments when you made a mistake, what you perceived as a mistake. And without doing that, you would not have learned what you needed to learn, a valuable lesson. With this, I would like to reframe the word mistake. Sometimes a mistake can feel like a failure, like something wrong. Can we reframe that? And instead of mistakes, see learning opportunities. Learning opportunities that stem from your innate humanness. Opportunities that needed to happen so that you can learn, maybe other people can learn, and you can all grow and evolve. If you wish to go deeper into the pose, you can adjust your props, maybe completely release them and remove them. I let go of the past and embrace the present moment. I forgive myself for any mistakes and trust my journey. I let go of the past and embrace the present moment. I forgive myself for any mistakes and trust in my journey. Mistakes are not an obstacle or a problem on a journey or a failure on a journey. They are a part of a journey. Your mistakes are your part of your journey, a valuable part. taking last couple of breaths, easing even more into your posture. And then slowly coming out of your pose, lengthen the spine. Take a breath in and out. And with the help of your hands, close your legs as we move into our Dragonfly. Open your legs wide if you notice your pelvis rounding back or rolling back, tilt it forward. Take your bolster. We're going to work on the inner energy lines or inner thigh energy lines. Start to walk your hands forward and release your torso onto your bolster. Eyes closed. Awareness within. Our third affirmation is, I release the need for perfection. I embrace my quirkiness with love. I release the need for perfection. I embrace my quirks with love. It is those quote-unquote weird traits that you have that make you uniquely who you are. That's what makes you stand out. That's what makes you so lovable. Maybe some people don't understand those parts of yourself, but you know that there are some that do understand. And you know that with those that do understand, you feel the safest. And you know that just because somebody does not validate that part of you, that part is wrong or should be changed or fixed. No one's opinion is above your own. No one can judge you because no one is higher than you. We are all at the same level. So if there is a part of you that is difficult to accept because maybe in the past you got laughed at or you've been made fun of because of that part, can you lovingly accept that? And can you say it's okay, others don't understand because somebody else does and I do. You may come deeper into your posture if you're ready. I release my need for perfection. I embrace my quirks with love. Perhaps you want to come a little bit deeper into the pose. For the last couple of breaths. then with your next inhale, you slowly come out of your pose. With the help of your hands, you begin to close your knees and we'll come into a child's pose. So you can move your mat, your block and bolster rather aside. Gently sink your hips down towards your heels and rest your chest on your thighs. Take a breath in and out. From your child's pose, we're going to move through a couple of spinal waves. With your inhale, you round your back, come into a tabletop-like position. Exhale to arch your back and glide into the child. A few more times, just like that. With inhale forward, and with your exhale back. Inhale takes you forward. Exhale takes you back. The next time you come into your tabletop position, you're going to pick up your left knee and bring your left knee towards your left wrist. Left foot will be diagonally pointing downwards. Lift your right knee and walk your right knee back until your hips come to a position where they are square and nearing the ground. Maybe you're seated on the ground. If the hips are not coming all the way down, you may take your bolster and sit up. We're going to take the sleeping swan. So from here, you come down onto your forearms, and maybe this is enough for you. Maybe you want to walk all the way forward with your arms. Rest your forehead on your hands. And in this one, we're getting deep into the hip region. There can be a lot of tightness. Be present with the sensations that are coming up. And our affirmation for this posture is, I forgive myself for any pain and suffering I may have caused. I forgive myself for any pain and suffering I may have caused. So we explore that we are human and inevitably we're going to make mistakes. And sometimes the mistakes do not only involve us, sometimes they involve other people. And hurting others can hurt even more than hurting ourselves, even if we don't do it on purpose. So can you forgive yourself for mistakes you have done that caused pain and suffering to others? Can you find compassion and grace for yourself? One of my favorite quotes says, "When I know better, I do better. When I know better, I do better." Maybe you did not know better, and that's why you did what you did, or you acted the way you did. But you have learned since, and you know better, and you will do better. So can you forgive yourself? If you wish to go deeper, you may bend your right knee and reach with left hand towards your right foot. This can be quite intense, so listen to your body and decide to what degree you want to experience this posture. And slowly you release the leg if you are holding your leg. Prop yourself up with your arms, tuck your right toes under, and take a quick rest in a child's pose. Feel the difference between the two sides, the right hip and the left hip. With your inhale, slowly coming to the center, into your tabletop. Walk your right knee towards your right wrist. Right foot points diagonally to the left bottom corner, and you walk your left knee back, bringing the hips lower towards the ground. You may use your bolster underneath the right hip, and then come down to your forearms, maybe all the way down, with forehead towards the ground. I forgive myself for any pain and suffering I may have caused. I forgive myself for any pain and suffering I may have caused to others, but also to yourself. Forgive yourself for any pain and suffering you have caused to you. You did not know better, but now you know better, and you will do better. You're already doing better. You may bend your left knee, reach with your right hand towards your left foot. Remember, one of the tattvas, one of the principles in yin yoga is appropriate depth. So make sure that as you ride the edge of discomfort, you do not go too deep, and rather find a mild discomfort and observe the sensation over a longer period of time. On your next exhale, release your left leg. And on your inhale, slowly come up into a seat. We're going to move through a couple of windshield wipers, arms behind you. Allow the knees to fall to one side and another. One side and another. Good. And slowly we will finish and conclude the practice where we started in Shavasana. This time you may place a bolster underneath your knees for more comfort. Intuitively place your hands wherever you feel they are needed. Maybe they're touching the body. Eyes are closed. Allow the practice to sink in. Our final affirmation to conclude the practice is, I forgive myself. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. And in this moment, I am free of the burden of self-judgment and criticism. I forgive myself. And in this moment, I am free of the burden of self-judgment and criticism. Take a deep inhale. With your exhale, release any self-judgment and criticism. Let go, let go, let go. One more deep inhale. Release. I thank you for joining me for this practice. I wish you a beautiful, judgment-free day. A day full of grace and compassion and love towards yourself. I thank you, and I will see you in the next class.